Thought, education, the motherland receives life. Why was this poem written? This poem was written for the reason that, as we lift to new heights, our society also ponders its progress. To whom was it written? It was written for the youth, for them to give importance to education, so that our country will rise. As we become successful as an individual, we also contribute to the full development of our nation towards unity, consciousness, as it has a great impact on our society. Background of poem. Rizal wrote this poem in the year 1876, at the age of 15. It was written in Ateneo de Municipal in Manila. This poem, rather, in this poem, Dr. Jose Rizal enumerated the benefits a country derives from education, namely, atmosphere of peace, propagation of correct values, an antidote to vices and crimes, encouragement for youthful usefulness, and as motivation or determined civil service. The vital breath of prudent education instills a virtue of enchanting power. She lifts the motherland to highest station, and endless destined glories in her shower. And as the zephyr's gentle exhalation revives the matrix of the fragrant flower, so education multiplies her gifts of graces, with prudent hand imparts them to the human race. For her a mortal man will gladly part with all he has, will give his calm response. For her are born all sciences and all art, that brows of men with laurel fair enclose. Is from the towering mountain's lofty heart the purest content of the streamlet flows. So education without stint or measure gives a security and peace to lands in which she lives. Where education reigns on lofty seat, youth blossoms forth with vigor and agility. He error subjugates with solid feet, and is exalted by conceptions of nobility. She breaks the neck of vice and its deceit, black crime storms pale at her hostility. The barbarous nations she know how to tame, from savages creates heroic fame. And as the spring doth sustenance bestow on all the plants and bushes in the mead, its placid plenty goes to overflow, and endlessly with lavish love to feed the banks by which it wanders, gliding slow, supplying vicious natures ever need. So he who prudent education doth procure, the towering heights of honor will secure. This point proved that Jose Rizal valued education so much that may give the power of the country to survive from any forces in the struggles of societal freedom. Through education, it creates the virtue of power to human race. This gives security and peace to the motherland, as the Filipinos would learn the sciences and arts as the basis to calm down the life of the society. Rizal recounts the demand for her sacrifices, or for his sacrifices to obtain an education, and the rewards which is a pleasure in living, the avenue to truth, goodness, and honor. It showed the importance of religion in education, encouraging his people to acquire virtue and enlightenment. Rizal resolutely opposed the pathway of violence and clung to education not only in theory but also by his example. Stressed the noble benefits of an enlightened citizenry, an aura of peace, youthful usefulness, the antidote to crime and vice, determination in government humanized man. Rizal also indicates here how he values education, that out of his fervent love for our motherland, education seems for him a way for us to extend our deep and warm gratitude to every wonder that we receive from her every day. This poem tells us how education is important to every human, because without education, we cannot reach our goals in life. Aside from that, it is also one of the most effective way to make a country proud, and no one can steal it from us. Education is the most precious gift and treasure that motherland can give to us. A nation where educated people outnumbers uncivilized ones excavate treasures more cherished than any stones of the earth. The weight of our desires to stand firm on the ground where our beloved country lies marks the turning point that leads our hope for a brighter East. Education is the one that trains people how to become a productive and civilized citizen to our motherland, because education is the key to success.
From out his lips the water, crystal pure, of perfect virtue shall not cease to go. With careful doctrines of his fate, made sure the powers of evil he will overthrow, like foaming waves that never long endure, but perish on the shore at every blow. And from his good example other men shall learn their upward steps towards the heavenly paths to run. Within the breast of wretched humankind shall light the living flame of goodness bright. The hands of freshest criminal thought bind, and in those breasts will surely pour delight, which seek her mystic benefits to find. Those souls she set aflame with love of right. It is a noble, fully rounded education that gives the life to its surest consolation. And as the mighty rock aloft may tower above the center of the stormy deep in scorn of storm, or fierce Suez-Wister's power, or fury of the waves that raging sleep, until their first mad hatred spent they cower, and tried at last, subside and fall asleep. So he that takes wise education by the hand, invincible shall guide the winds of motherland. On sapphires shall his service be engraved, 1,000 honors to him by his land be granted, for in their blossom will his noble sons have saved. Luxuriant flowers his virtue has translated, and by the love of goodness overlived, the lords and governors will see implanted. To endless days the Christian education within their noble faith enrapture nation, And as in early morning we behold the ruby sun pour forth resplendent rays, and lovely dawn her scarlet and her gold, her brilliant colors, all about her sprays, so skilful, noble teaching thought unfold, to living minds the joy of virtuous ways. She offers our dear motherland the light that leads us to immortal glory's heights. So, what was the poem all about? So, it was all about that education to awaken the youth's consciousness that it has a bigger influence, not just for ourselves, but also for the betterment of our country and also for us to be a productive citizens and a concern to the government. In true education, our motherland receives light. Education is portrayed as a torch lighting the darkness or the morning sun casting out the shadows over a land. This is to suggest that those who seek a well-rounded education, who seek the light of education, are illuminated and empowered, illuminating and empowering all those who seek her light. In a time where many felt oppressed, Rizal offered that the power of light of education is endless and that it cannot be taken away by just someone else. Education is offered as an answer to unite the people, instill pride in the people, and provide the tools needed to make positive changes in the nation. Rizal explains that all science and arts are born of education, and as of that, education is capable of bringing security and peace to lands. His words encourage us, the readers, that true knowledge, even barbarous savage, can rise to heroism. Such true education proudly gives the pleasure of virtue to young and old, as she enlightens our mother dear, and as she offers endless glow and luster.